I never knew my father. I never touched him or seen him. I went to search for my father since the age of about 15 years old, off and on. I got a little bit of information from my mother. I entered the military and I traveled the world. When I came back, I still wanted to find out who my father was, because there could be some connection that he could give me that I don't have. I remember making a phone call to an aunt on a Thursday of the year that I found my father. I told her who I was and what I was doing, and she agreed to meet me the following Tuesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, my father died. That's Sunday. And Monday and Tuesday when I met her, she said, "You just missed your father." And I'm thinking that he went to the store or something, and she said, "Your father just died." That Wednesday, I met him for the first time in March Funeral Home. And I touched him. And I had people to pray what they want, because I prayed to God that I see my father before he leave this earth and before I turn 30. 3 weeks after his death, I turned 30. I don't know what it is to say daddy. And even now, as I interact with my children, and particularly my sons, I still got to push back some, because this is what I wanted from my father, that relationship. And I'll never have it, but my children will always have it. When I filed for my divorce, I felt embarrassed, because when you marry somebody, you expect to be married to them for a lifetime, as long as you exist. So it was very embarrassing for me to even file for a divorce. By hearing from my son's mother, I don't know how she could have even mustered something up like that, of allegations of me abusing my son from 6 months to 10 years old, and with inappropriate discipline to and on him. I felt just terrible. What I expect to accomplish from writing that letter to the administrative judge for the Circuit Court of Baltimore, Maryland, and Baltimore City, I really expected somebody to investigate the allegations on me, number one. Number two was somebody to investigate on why Master handed down a decision that she did with no proof. I'll never forget that night, October the 3rd, 1996. I was cleaning my house up, and I got an emergency phone call through a beeper at the time. And I got on my bike, and I rode my bike as fast as I can to get to the destination. And when I got there, my son and his cousin were crying. I got the story of his mother and the boyfriend. Back then they got into a fight. Then the son got involved, and then my son was thrown up against the wall by the boyfriend, which is now her husband. And his son threw a knife at my son, cutting him underneath his eye, and he has a knot in the back of his head. The two were arrested and charges were filed. I soon went to the hospital to see what happened with my son, and I was in tears because the social worker wanted to take my son from me that night. And with tears in my eyes, I asked her, "Please don't take my son from me because of what just happened." My son's testimony, a judge heard him in the chambers. My son told him of a nightmare that he had in reference to the testimony of where he wanted to live at and who he wanted to visit. The judge sat there, and to me, he listened to it nonchalantly. And in the sense of saying, well, I think it's best that you just visit your dad and you stay here with your mom. But his testimony, due to his age and his maturity level, should have been taken into consideration along with the letter, but it wasn't. What I expected to get accomplished from writing letters to other people is basically for somebody to investigate the allegations, again, investigate the whole procedure of the court system, of the decision that was handed down to me, and then kind of sort of investigate why the administrative judge allowed it to legally happen. That's why this set of letters were written to other people. It made me feel like nobody was listening to me. It made me feel like that nobody really focused what was in the best interest of my son. Nobody was using the law per se as it pertains to a child custody case. What made me write the book, When a Judge Can't Judge, My Nightmare of the Court System, Baltimore, Maryland, nobody wanted to listen to what I had to say. No one wanted to listen to my side of the story. No one wanted to read anything that I had presented to them whatsoever. Well, of course, with the court system, they damaged a lot of stuff. They took monies from me. They took a lot of stuff from me. But in reference to the chicken, there's times where my son and I, and particularly me, would eat chicken. I baked it, I grilled it, I fried it. I did a lot of stuff as far as chicken. I had a lot of times where I would eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I would come to paying bills. I would rob Peter to pay Paul, just to make sure that I had a house and a room for my son whenever he came over to my house, due to what the court system did to me financially. I thought that me being consistent and leaving a paper trail, filing complaints on these different people, or either letting somebody else know how I was treated unfairly in the court system, it would spark somebody's eye. Because also in a lot of those letters, I would CC the same people, and I would send everything certified mail. But my thing of me wanting to accomplish something is that somebody just investigated my case. I just wanted somebody to see what I was going through. I wanted to see the wrongdoing of me. I wanted them to see what my son went through, the reports, the police reports, and that no judge was willing to take any of that in consideration while placing my son in my physical custody. That's what I set out to accomplish by writing letters to different people. It frustrates you. It gets you to a point in your life where you say, is anybody listening to me? Do anybody want to help me out? Do anybody want to assist what I'm going through? But it frustrates you to the point to where you just want to just give up everything that you fought for. However, you keep the ball rolling in the hope that somebody, somewhere, someday will listen to what you are saying in writing. And with the court system being who it is, I felt as though a legal, common sense answer should have been given to me. But again, I still sit here back then and still write, hoping that one day somebody listened to my story and see that I was dealt with wrongly. This particular group of letters started off in the second book of When a Judge Can't Judge, part to the conclusion. These letters went to a different twist of holding more people accountable for their actions. Mainly the administrative judge for the Circuit Court in Baltimore, Maryland, and the attorney grievance, and also the RN grievance. boards to either somehow come together collectively or address it personally to me, seeing that I have a problem, I have an issue. My story is consistent, my letters are consistent. I need somebody to investigate what I went through. So at each different level of me writing different letters and more letters, I just was hoping that to accomplish that somebody would say, stop. That man is not being treated fairly. Let's investigate, because he's still writing letters. He still wants his voice heard, and it's been consistent. Interrogatories are some formal questions that an attorney asks the opposing side as far as different things is concerned. And the answers that they want to make their case stronger, to actually block what you're trying to achieve. And then they're listing of the interrogatories. I've answered each one of them effectively to the best of my ability to what they were trying to say didn't happen and is happening. But they're nothing but just formal questions, legally formal questions that you just answer with hope to have some resolve. For the modifying custody, I filed a petition. In this particular case, my son was getting older, getting into teenage years. Me being a male, him being a male, needed more time together. And the visitation that was already set forth from 1996, I was just trying to get more time with my son. On this modification, I was trying to get more days. However, I didn't get the order to me yet. My injustice. It started off from the beginning of the allegations that I got, being an abusive parent with inappropriate discipline and behavior to and on my son. From that point on, anything that I tried to conquer was an injustice to me. Nobody wanted to listen to me. Nobody wanted to read all the information that I had. I had so much injustice of them blocking me for what I'm trying to do. One thing I've been told by a lot of people is that you're representing yourself and you're able to interpret the same language that the judges are communicating with you with. They didn't like that part of it. So the injustice also went that far as the judges and myself holding dialogue, and it's not supposed to happen if you represent yourself. Along the way, with the letters, with the driving to Annapolis, driving to DC, doing everything in my power to prove my point. Mentally, it affected me because I'm always thinking about it. And psychologically, it was a worrying thing. Physically, it drained me. I lost about 10 pounds throughout this whole ordeal, which lasted about 5.5 years. Financially, it drained me. From robbing Peter to pay Paul, from them just about having me dealing with just little bits of monies. Spiritually, they tried to tamper with that, but my faith in God and what I believe in kept me strong. I'm writing more letters in this particular incident here because I believe that this is the bulk of the letters that I've written. These letters was more so to the Supreme Court. I focused on the Supreme Court of the United States being the overall court system here in the United States. I even focused on senators as well as congressmen who are in my district. I wanted to, again, have them accountable for their actions. along with a paper trail, because something needed to be done. Something should have been done. And the whole thing of it is, if this man has not done nothing wrong, why we take him through this? It's like throwing a man in jail with no proof to it. I had one person from the state of New York, who's a congresswoman, who wanted to help me out. She even sent the information I sent her to my congressman. So that made it 4 times. 3 of those times was certified mail who I sent it to him got it. And it was a guy from Pennsylvania radio station. He wouldn't have helped me out, or didn't want to cross the lines of Baltimore, Maryland. And I understood all of that. But I just wanted basically some accountability to everyone who has caused this to me, this pain. If it was, as I said before, it was a nightmare that no father who is into his child's life should ever experience what I experienced in the court system. Globally, my vision is one that I highlight in my second book, is that I have a vision that one day the society will come to the understanding and full acknowledgement that men are parents also. Fathers are very influential in a child's life. We play a big part of their life. We have a big impact on their lives. But my vision is to have a area where those fathers are connected to their children. Fathers are more embraced to their children. They're more bonding. And the vision is that while these fathers are involved with these children, our children will stop and think and make that U-turn in their lives. Say, well, my father is involved with my life. I have to make these choices that I'm making, where that son will have his dad as his male role model, following in his footsteps. And that daughter, long range, wouldn't expect or make nothing less than what her father is teaching her. But the vision is to connect fathers and children globally, internationally. Yes, sir. That last modification, as I said before, I filled out my proper paperwork for it. I am still waiting to this very day, as we do this, an answer, more days or less days. I have not gotten that yet. Yes, my youngest son is 9, and I will consistently and persistently be a father to my children, no matter what, no matter where I'm at in my life. I'm going to always be a father to my children. To me, with respect to God and a spouse, being a father is the best blessing that could ever be bestowed upon a man. About 2 years ago, I've had 3 fathers who found me on YouTube after watching my videos. One from Birmingham, Alabama, one from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the last one from Miami, Florida, who were all going through custody issues in the court. Each one of these guys bought my 4th book, A Father's Self-Representation, Hosea 4 and 6, Eliminating the Middleman, the Attorney. And it turned their cases around by them getting their book, reading it, and also watching my videos. I may never meet these guys. I may never meet every father internationally who buy any of my books for the sake of helping them out. But at least I know I've touched at least one person.